Hey, what's up again on this Sunday, guys? This is Frank, House of Orange Sports Channel, coming at you today. Tennessee completes the sweep of St. Bonaventure. In what fashion? Run rule fashion, of course. That's what this team does along the way. And, it's just crazy what this team continues to do as they walk it off against Stone Lawless, 2-run home run that ends it. Haven't seen a reaction of Tony Vitello kind of reacted to it like he did last night or not. But discuss that here in just a minute. But make sure you hit that like, that share, that subscribe. 13 from 3,000. Keep hitting that sub button. Keep sharing the content out. It's always greatly appreciated on here. But couple of thoughts on the run rule, man. One is it's college. If you want to put it at 20, okay, let's go 20. Maybe consider it 15. 10, I don't like it. The run rule prevented Tennessee from breaking the home run record last year. It's possible it prevents it this year as well. But again, another thing too, it's preventing some guys getting some innings. Some guys you don't see a lot, whether it's pitchers or fielders. It's preventing some guys like that. And it's college baseball. This is not kiddie ball or anything like that. Get rid of the run rule. Get rid of it all together. Like I said, if you want to put it at 20, that's fine. We could talk about it at 15, 10. No, take it away. Get rid of it. And another thought, too, is look at the competition you're scheduling, too. Other than playing Oklahoma State and Arizona, it's been a pretty much a joke of a schedule so far. I mean, they've had some closer games midweek, and that happens in midweek sometimes. These weekend series, though, they're awful. Bring me Coastal Carolina. Bring me Dallas Baptist. Bring me, one of these mid-tier teams that makes noise along the way. Bring me Georgia Southern again. Tennessee did a home-and-home with them a few years back. I mean, bring ETSU for the weekend or something. I don't know. That's, we'll see. That one's debated, but you get where I'm going with that one. Bring me some of the strong competition along the way. That, I think Samford's supposed to be pretty good. Tennessee made them. They had one close game. Tennessee made them look pretty bad the rest of the way. But I love to see them get in some teams like Coastal Carolina, East Carolina. There's numerous ones out there that you could play that's fairly, I would say, within a 4 to 5 hour radius. Maybe a little Coastal, maybe a little bit more than that from Knox. We'll say a 6-7 hour radius on it. Whatever, somewhere along the way, but just some better competition. I mean, I get having a cupcake series here or there, but most of your weekend series have been jokes up to this point. So I would like to see some better competition on the schedule, which in turn would prevent run rules every single game also. But again, I think it needs to be fixed, but it is what it is. That's what we're playing. That's what we'll roll with right now. So Tennessee 13-2. Tennessee got down 1-0 again today, but then they come back in the bottom of the inning with 7 runs, and they never looked back today. And this was one of those games we saw a lot of pitchers. And I'll be honest, I'm wondering if this Sunday philosophy is not going to come back to bite them at some point. I'm really wondering if that's not going to be the case with it, because I don't know, man. I think you need a consistent Sunday starter. We've seen it so far. Liam Doyle, he's proven right now he's been on fire on Fridays. Marcus Phillips has pitched really good on Saturdays, and I think he keeps getting better. And the big thing for him was his control. He had no walks, no wild pitches, no hit batters yesterday. That was big for him. How does this work out come SEC play? We'll see. But they started I think part of the reason they started Tanner Franklin today was he only threw 2/3 of an inning Friday night. They wanted to get him a little bit more work. He'd been throwing more than that up to this point. We saw Arvidsson an inning. We saw Coons an inning and a third on it. Coons got credited with the win, 2-0 on the season. We saw a lot of pitchers today. Dylan Lloyd come in, pitched really well in 2/3 of an inning, had 2 strikeouts. Ryan Combs had a bit of a circus inning, 1 inning, 3 hits. 1 run, which was earned, had a walk. He did have 3 strikeouts along the way. Austin Hundley went an inning today. Breedlove went a third of an inning, got a strikeout. Tanner Wiggins went a third, had 3 walks and a wild pitch on the day. Not a good one. They pulled him out. Braden Krenzel finished that inning for them. He got a ground out to end the inning. But, a lot of guys played to plate today. We saw 5 home runs today. Levi Clark hit an opposite fielder. Chris Newstrom come in for Reese Chapman. They said on VolQuest the Chris Newstrom bomb was only 395 feet. There is no way, because dead center at Lindsey Nelson says 390, and he hit it off the batter's eye, pretty high up on it. That's more than a 395-foot bomb right there. I don't care what they sound. Manny Marin was 1 for 3. It's the home runs I was talking about. Stone Lawless had 2. Of course, he had the finisher. Dalton Bargo had another one as well. But 9 hits on the day for Tennessee, 13 runs, 5 home runs, 7 walks, only 3 strikeouts. Curley was hit by a pitch, only 4 left on base, and they had 3 stolen bases. That's a very good day at the plate for this team, especially 3 strikeouts and only 4 left on base. I'll take that all day long. For the pitching, of course, they went 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 was earned, 7 walks. That was a little bit of a problem, but 3 of those belong to one guy. 13 strikeouts, 1 wild pitch, 1 hit by pitch, 34 batters faced, 4 flyouts, 2 ground outs. The rest were strikeouts along the way. 85 strikes in 143 pitches. Team ERA on the day, 2.32. Pretty good on the day. And looking at your guys right now who pitched today, Tanner Franklin, of course, big part of Friday nights, his ERA 1.80. Arvidsson, I thought, had a good outing again today. He had the 1 rough outing against Asheville. Other than that, I think he's been pretty good. 4.15 ERA. Coons, 1.59. And I thought some of Coons with his, I thought the umpire, I thought he threw some good pitches that didn't call it. It didn't seem like the umpire was giving corners today. And, but, he was okay today. I don't think he'll sit here and tell you it was his best stuff. But the 1 run he gave up was unearned because they, St. Bonaventure stole on the play. Lawless airmailed it, and I don't know what happened. Curley was backing it up, and it somehow got away from him. That guy ended up scoring on a base hit. A couple batters later. Loy, 0.00. He has looked phenomenal so far. Just his breaking ball is excellent. Just his control is really good. Combs had a rough, he got the 3 strikeouts, but he had a bit of an adventure today. And Combs to me is a prove-it guy. I'm not as high on him as others. I think the potential's there, but just coming from JUCO, none of his numbers wowed me coming in. And but we'll see where he is. I know the staff likes him a lot, so we'll see. Hundley, Breedlove, Wiggins, Krenzel, all guys. I don't think any of them are going to be big-time parts. I actually like Breedlove. I like all of them. Don't get me wrong on it. I've liked Breedlove's stuff every outing that I've seen of him. 1.35 ERA for him. The guy gets a lot of strikeouts. He had a lot of strikeouts in junior college, too. His numbers really jump out to me, and I've been impressed what he's done so far. To me, he has been, I almost think he's been the most impressive of the JUCO pitchers so far. I know they use Arvidsson and Combs a little more higher leverage than they do Breedlove. But I think Breedlove, the way he's throwing and his stuff, can be a big part of this staff this year. Whether it's, I think especially on the weekends out of the bullpen, when there's going to be some of these games where they're going to use more than 2 pitchers in a game. They're going to need guys, and he, to me, is stepping up like a guy that looks pretty good. I think Crabtree's looked pretty good in his stuff. Arvidsson's looked pretty good out of the JUCO guys. Again, Combs, I think he's getting a little more. I'm going to be totally honest. I think he's getting a little more credit because he's Combs, because his brother was the closer on the national championship team. And I don't think he's bad by any means. I think he's a good pitcher, but I'm still curious to see how he does when we get into this better competition as it starts next weekend against Florida. Number 16 was big today. 16-0, best start in program history. If this team does what it should, takes care of business midweek against West Georgia, they go to 17-0. They will enter conference play undefeated, and they should be unanimous number one across. D1 baseball's being stubborn about it right now because they just don't like for their rankings to be proven wrong. We saw that last year with their hesitancy to move some teams around the way they did. D1 baseball is very stubborn with their rankings on it, or elsewhere. Tennessee's easily the number one team in the nation right now. But it's going to be prove it time when you get into SEC play. And there's still some things I think it'll sort out. This lineup, though, seems to be pretty sorted. Now, when I look at averages today, I'm looking at Curley's at 346, Keelan 463, Fisher 310, Levi Clark 513, Chapman 352. I mean, Newstrom has played less than others, but he's 417. Manny Marin's 414. Grimmer has, a lot less at bats, but he's 429. Abernathy 353. Stonelaw is 417. Bargo 250 and Teagle 267. That's of the guys playing today. And Cannon Peebles, I'm telling you, man, if Cannon Peebles does not get a consistent bat going, I think you've got to go to Stone Lawless on it. That's a huge difference in batting average. And I know I think Peebles is probably a better overall catcher right now. But Lawless bat, man, how you going to keep that bat out of the lineup? I don't think you can keep doing it. And Bargo keeps getting home runs. Bargo's doing okay, but I don't know, man. There's some guys. Of course, Inslee didn't play today. I think he's probably earned a day off. I mean, the dude, he crashed into the wall, just the other night, and then probably just a day off for him. The guys deserved it. He earned it. And I think everything's starting to play out, though, pretty much with where they're at. Fisher looks like he's going to be at first. You're not pulling Manny Marin out of the lineup. There's no way. To me, I think you could go Curley third, Manny Marin short, to be honest. I think Curley's third baseman. I don't think he's a shortstop. He's definitely not the next level. But they're probably not going to make that change unless, I guess, things kind of your hand gets forced more along the way. Marin's not moving. Curley's not coming out. Keelan's not coming out. That's your infield with Fisher. Peebles is going to continue to catch, but I'm curious to see if his bat, again, 213, that's not a good batting average. And I know he's gotten a few home runs, but we're getting back into the territory we've been in for a few years. I mean, we're getting into Cal Start territory right there, where, and to me, the way Lawless is hitting, it's going to be hard to keep him out. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to. And then your outfield, of course, Chapman has had a good start to the season. He had a 15-game hitting streak going up until today. That did get snapped as he went 0 for 2, and then he was pulled out for Chris Newstrom. Of course, Inslee will be in center, and I think for the most part, even though they're starting to play Bargo a little bit more, I think it's Abernathy going to be in left. I think he can. Bargo's got a role. Bargo, I don't think Bargo's an everyday guy, but he is a spot start guy. He's a guy he's so versatile. He can do a lot of things on it. And then Levi Clark, I mean, he's locked in at DH. And I think that's his best position. I think especially he's come in as a catcher. I don't know how much field he had actually played, like first and outfield prior to this. I'm sure he has at some point, but he's at least, I think best case, he's third on the catching depth chart, and he could be lower. And there's other guys. I mean, Bargo can catch. Chris Newstrom can catch. I mean, you've got a guy who was tearing it up in the fall, Brooks Wright. It looks like he's probably redshirting and not even playing this year. There's some really good players redshirting this year. Or it appears that they are. We haven't seen some really good freshmen along the way. But, you look at the pitching staff too. I got to think a lot of guys are getting aggravated. But that's what happens when you have so much talent on here. And my theory and my philosophy on this is, why are they not, say, throwing Coons more, Arvidsson more, or some of these guys? If you remember back to 2022, I think it goes back to, from the get-go, it was Burns, Dollander, Beam. Once Tidwell got healthy, they started working him back in. But once they got to the postseason, Burns and Beam barely threw. They threw Burns, game 3 against Notre Dame, and he pitched a heck of an outing. Probably left him in an inning too long in that game. And, a poor decision to throw Ben Joyce so many innings on Friday night when the game got out of hand really prevented them from using him in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or he was brought in too late. I can't remember which one it was now. But anyhow, I think part of this is the way they're using these guys on Sundays is saving them for down the line. That way, maybe build them up because there's going to be some outings where there's going to be more to it. But for these guys, but I know there's going to be aggravation. Guys want to pitch, and I appreciate the fact that they do. But here's the bottom line: this staff is loaded. It is absolutely loaded right now. I'm still curious to see how it plays out as well. Will Phillips stay in that too? Can Doyle continue the pace he's on? I mean, he's looked phenomenal. They both look really good so far. Who's going to claim that Sunday role? A.J. Russell, of course, didn't throw today. Didn't surprise me. Based on what I've heard, he threw a bullpen yesterday. So they're just taking it easy with him. There's been no setbacks. There's been none of that stuff. I think he's good to go as far as he's fine right now. They're just being careful with it. It's his draft year. They're not going to overuse him as well. Hopefully, when you get toward the end of the season, you'll start to see him a little bit more at that point. But good weekend. Another good weekend. Program record. Best start in program history. And this program, this team, man, they just continue to do it. But it's go time next weekend. Florida comes to Knoxville Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun next weekend. Florida right now is ranked 7th in the country. And, that'll be easily the toughest competition Tennessee's faced so far. So Tennessee's got West Georgia Tuesday at 4:30. They have Florida Friday at 6:30, Saturday at 6, and then next Sunday at 1 o'clock. They'll wrap up. Then they got ETSU. Then they go on the road, first road series of the year at Alabama. We'll be here for it all along the way, and may get back into the live show game a little bit next weekend. We'll see how things go. We'll see what's going on there as well. But, of course, SEC basketball, Tennessee plays Friday on it. It'll be Friday afternoon. So I'm planning on being live the rest of the way for Tennessee basketball, and hopefully Lady Vols too with the NCAA tournament coming up as well. But you guys have a great rest of your day. Frank, House of Orange, like, share, subscribe. Check out the link in the description for the channel Patreon for the channel memberships as well. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and go Vols.